Hello everyone, my name is Debbie. In today's video, I will show you how to use the Pear Deck add-on on Google Slides to support students during their independent writing time. Let's get started. First, I created a brand new Google Slides presentation for the letter writing activity. This is the independent portion of the lesson. Students will still have access to the anchor chart. In addition, they will have 3 separate slides, one for writing the date, one for writing the greeting and the body, and one for writing the closing and signing the letter. I highlighted the important parts that they need to remember. It is also to help them know where to look on the anchor chart. So if they see date, they can go to the anchor chart and see the example. When they see greeting and body, they can go to the anchor chart and see greeting and body. So this is especially helpful for your students with disabilities so they know how to use the anchor chart. I'm breaking down the letter writing into 3 parts for 2 reasons. One, it's to break down a complex task into smaller chunks that students can accomplish. This is important because students need to feel successful. Otherwise, they might not continue with the task. So being able to complete one small part at a time is helpful for students. The second reason is that the entire template will fit on this slide, but it will be very tiny and students won't be able to write in it. So again, breaking apart the task into 3 parts for 2 different reasons. Now let's go back to the original presentation here, and I'm just going to copy the template as well as the anchor chart, and I'm going to paste it into this slide. So you can see, like I said before, this will be a bit too small for students to write in. We are going to crop out the rest of the letter and just leave the heading and date, and we will do the same thing for the anchor chart. So now we have the anchor chart, which I'm going to put on the upper right-hand corner, and this part where students will actually be filling in. I'm not going to put it all the way at the bottom because once I add the Pear Deck feature, there will be a footer, and I don't want that to block the students from their writing. So the anchor chart I'm going to leave pretty small because students just need to see the date, D-A-T-E there, in order to refer to it. So this looks like a good size for students to write, and I'm just going to repeat the process for the greeting and the body, as well as the closing and signing aspect of the letter. Now I have all 3 slides completed. For the last slide, I decided to add a circle here with the word signature inside because there was no label on the original anchor chart to show students where the signature is. So this way they can see signature here and know that this is where they will sign their name. Now we are ready to use the Pear Deck features. So first, click add-ons and make sure you get Pear Deck as one of your add-ons. Just look for it, then click on it, and you will see a blue bar pop up here, and all you have to do is click install. Once it is installed, just go to Pear Deck, open up the Pear Deck add-on, and we're going to use the same feature for all of these, and that is the draw feature. There are many options here for how students can respond. They can type, they can pick an answer, they can write a number, they can draw, or they can drag some icons. We are just using the draw for today's activity. So just click draw and it will automatically turn your slide into a draw activity. So we'll do that for all 3 slides. And like I mentioned before, once you have added a Pear Deck feature, there will be a footer on the bottom. For this one, it says students draw anywhere on this slide. And after we do this, let's preview the activity. We will just click start lesson, and we're going to pick student paced because this is a writing independent activity, so students are able to do it at their own pace. You will still be able to check their work in real time and give them feedback, but this will allow them to advance as quickly as they want or take as much time as they need. So click Student Pace Activity, and this will be what it looks like for the teacher. You are just going to share the direct link with your students to make it easier. Now, this is what it looks like on the student's end, and they can advance to each slide as they want. The great thing is students can actually go back to a slide, so they can go back to this anchor chart that shows the entire letter if they want, as often as they want. And you can see students have the option of typing, so they just click the T here and click where they want to start typing, and they can type the date. Okay. They can also write with the pencil tool. So they will just repeat the process for each slide here: greeting, body, and signature. They can use the pencil for that part. That way they can actually sign it, which is great. Now, one tool that is awesome for Pear Deck is the immersive reader on the bottom right hand corner here. You just click on it and it reads the directions for the students.
Directions: write the closing and sign your letter. Signature.
The immersive reader can also be used as a picture dictionary. So if students click on signature, they will see what a signature looks like. If they click on letter, it shows them two options for what a letter could be. This one shows them what write means, and this one shows them what sign means. So there is a visual support for your students, and this is especially helpful for your students with disabilities who might struggle with reading on grade level. And another feature here for students with processing or auditory needs, they can slow down the speed of the directions.
Sign your letter.
If they click Reading Preferences up here on the top right corner, they can choose Line Focus. And this way, when it reads it to them, it darkens the rest of the letters so they can just focus on one line. And again, another very useful tool for struggling readers, for students that need extra support in processing. And I wanted to make a connection to the word study for second grade this week. If you click on grammar options, it has the option to break apart the words into their syllables. So you can see it tells you exactly where to break apart the words. And this will be helpful for students because they are practicing different patterns and figuring out where the syllables end and begin. So now I'm thinking about some ways to modify this to provide more scaffolds for my students. I'm thinking here for the greeting, I can easily just add a text box here that says Dear so that students don't have to add that component themselves. I can also provide some sort of sentence starter for the students depending on what the letters are about. If they are all writing a thank you letter, then I can easily just put thank you here and provide students with that as their sentence starter. If you do use sentence starters, I do recommend you putting lines to support students in their writing. If you don't put a sentence starter, you can just leave it blank because when students type here, it automatically makes it straight for them, so they don't have to worry about any of that. As I mentioned earlier, even though this is student paced, you can see your students' responses in real time. This is the teacher's view, and I can see this student has typed the date. You can do a grid layout and see all students at one time for this part. That way you can kind of keep tabs on how quickly the students are moving and decide if you need to check in with them specifically. But yes, you can see everything on your end, which is awesome. Let's quickly review what I went over in this video. Pear Deck has many features that can support students in their writing. Specifically, the immersive reader is incredibly helpful for students who are struggling readers, who might have processing and auditory needs. Overall, Pear Deck is a great tool for students, and I hope you found this video useful.
Thank you for watching.